Hey, if you got me here, I am watching this area in from the Leesville camera. It's kind of coming together pretty quickly here. So I'm just going to leave the stream up for a while here. We're going to be watching things, but this is looking, I believe we are looking northwest in Leesville. And I'm just kind of monitoring things. Just wanted to, there's no warning on this one yet. But I'm watching this area closely. This is the kind of thing we see that could become something quickly. I'm just looking at my radar over here because I think keeping that shot up is going to be a little more dramatic here and just kind of showing you this is the Leesville camera. 83 degrees right now. Wind's actually out of the northeast, which is very uncommon here. Just incredible low-level directional shear. So that's why when I saw this kind of coming together, I said, well, I'm going to pop this up just to see what we have here. And yeah, I don't see anything that's imminent here, but things happen so quickly on these, and the cloud base is really low to the ground. So just keeping an eye on this storm as it moves toward the northwest. Now, we still do have tornado warnings, and I'm, again, still working on that camera out at Toledo Bend, and that's where the rotation is actually right now. So I'm going to keep this up on my has cam. I'm going to keep monitoring this so I see if I need to jump back, but I am going to go over to the radar and show you where that warning is right now. And yes, I do see that little kind of finger coming down there. I don't see anything imminent though. Again, I've got this I've got this up on the big screen here to my left. So there is, we're looking actually not at we're looking at this little cell right here. This right up here, these storms near Hornbeck, Florine, Fisher, and up into Zwally, those are the ones that really look like they're kind of put together right now. Let me go to the Shreveport radar. That's going to be closer. So we still have the tornado warning in effect. This one moving from Hornbeck, Anacoco area up once. It's just not the time to be on 171. If you are on either side of 171 here, these storms are really ramping up, and I think they're going to reposition this tornado warning, if I had to guess, here in just a few minutes. But if you're in that area and you're barely like out of the warning, you're going to want to go ahead and just go ahead and button things up and get as many walls between you and the outside as you can. Okay. And we're actively working on that other camera. And I have the Leesville camera up, and whatever that is, it still looks like it's behaving, but I do think we're about to get a new tornado warning. Let me see what they're saying. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the correlation coefficient. That shows us the potential for debris, and they had mentioned the possibility of seeing possibly that little blip right there south of Zwally. That was what they were looking at, saying that could have been a brief touchdown there right near Toledo Bend. Not seeing anything else on that end, but we are definitely seeing some pretty intense storms here. And we're starting to see these tap into the instability that's out here to the east, where things are just a little bit more warm and unstable. So as that air flows into this, that's why we're starting to see that lightning pop a little bit more, and we're seeing that rotation continue to increase. So Florine, Manny, Anacoco, all along 171 here. That is where we have multiple areas of rotation, and actually kind of bends back to the west. So you see that one near Zwally as well. The area that I was looking at on the camera, you can also, I mean, you can, if you want to, you can pop up the camera. I've got the Leesville one pointed at this, the one that we were looking at here, and I'm just going to pan it over just a little bit to keep a closer watch on that. But yeah, lots of rotation showing up on these cameras, or showing up on the radar, and seeing at least some interesting features showing up on the cameras as well. So if you are in Sabine Parish, pretty much anywhere along and west of 171, that's where this highest threat for tornadoes is going to be right now. You have a warning continuing. You can see those kinks here. Look at all these different little mesocyclones. I'll highlight this for you. Tornado warning coming from, okay, that's out of our area. You got one. You got two, and 3 at least, and then there's one that was further up to the north as well. So lots of areas of rotation out of these storms, and we are going to continue to watch this. And what I'm going to do is leave the stream up because I know we're going to get more warnings, and I'm just not going to try to talk continuously for 24 hours. So as I'm doing stuff kind of behind the scenes here, I'll check comments and things like that, and I'm just going to keep doing what I do, but I will leave this all up here, and then I'll just kind of hop on when I see something worth talking about. But might as well just leave it all going. How's that sound? That way, if things happen, I'll be ready to hop on quickly. There's your Leesville camera looking much, much calmer. Just processing a few things, and I'm going to go back to radar here. That's going to be easier for you. I did see a question about timing, so let's go through that real quick. This is going to show you the HRRR model. This is going to show the high-resolution forecast of what these storms are going to do. Now, it's running just a shade behind here on time, as we already have some of these storms into Louisiana, but I think so we can pretty much subtract an hour off of this. But look at these storms as they continue to slowly kind of push out toward the east. We get new cells developing out ahead of that, and then by this evening, probably around 5 or so, this is going to move into Rapides and Grant and LaSalle, eventually down the line of oils, but you can see the individual nature of these cells. It's not like we have just one big squall line here, but just a fast evolving situation that's why we have a tornado watch until 10 o'clock. So, I mean, these storms could even continue past that. It's clearing the river per this model by about 2 o'clock, and even down in southeast Louisiana after that. So, reports of a spin up in the Appleby area. That's Texas. Okay. Yeah, so the only current tornado warning we have in our area due to this circulation around Beryl is going to be this out here in Sabine Parish. That goes until 1:15. Would not be surprised to see them redraw that warning here pretty soon, as it looks like these storms right along 171 from Hornbeck to Manny through Fisher and Florine. These are the ones in our area that are most interesting to watch right now. Couple of other isolated cells. It looks like one down near Union Hill, and then over here perhaps, what is that, Sugartown area, Elizabeth, yeah, Dry Creek. So camera right here. Let me see if I can see it, and I'll look on my end first. Like I said, we're going to go informal on this one because we can. All right, so stations. Let's go check it out. D. Ritter. Just trying to adjust it to get it the right way. And because these storms are kind of coming in from a different angle, I have to, I sometimes have issues where I'm running into the poles and everything like that because, we mounted these to where we could see in a certain direction that's going to bring us, 95% of our storms. Hurricanes can sometimes change that up. So yeah, not seeing anything too crazy on that one. That's just an extension of a flood warning coming in. But, storms have fired up. We do have a confirmed tornado out here in Texas. That's why we got that purple. Between Henderson and Rusk, it looks like. Confirmed tornado report there. And then we have this area where the tornadoes, or the tornado threat has kind of pushed to the extreme eastern side of this warning here through Sabine Parish. So if you're out that way, if you're in Manny, if you're up here near Zwally, if you're down there, Hornbeck area, anywhere along 171, you have the potential for a quick spin up with these. Not seeing anything confirmed right now. But that tornado warning continues for another 15 minutes. Could get redrawn here a little bit. Let me pull something up here. Again, just going to keep the stream going. I will check for questions in just a bit. All right, here we go. looking at the time lapse of what was going on in that Leesville storm. Oddly, looks kind of anticyclonic. Very weird. I'll show you. Hold on. Let me put the display capture up. Let me do this. This is a time lapse of what we were watching in Leesville from that camera. So you can see here, this area, that's what we're going to be watching, and follow along with me here. You can see what kind of caught my attention there as things looked like they were trying to kind of spin up a little bit. And then you can see the general anticyclonic kind of circulation there. Very odd. But that's what I was watching. I moved the camera right there, and I'll take you back here and show you this. These are the things I always post on the reels and stuff. But just stepping you through it, you see what kind of caught my interest there, as it looked like we had a little wall cloud trying to form, and had that clear area on the backside. So yeah, this looked like it was about to try and do something. You can see those little wisps coming up, condensation off the field there. And yeah, so that's what I was watching. That's what I'm always watching for on these cameras. So get away from that, get the display capture out of here, and we will go back to radar, where we have a tornado warning for Sabine Parish. Again, that purple flashing area, that is actually a tornado that is confirmed to be on the ground. Okay, so timing for us. Yeah, you heard the cat meow. It'll happen. There's one out there, and there's one sleeping in here. She's the lazy one. So what we have is a new tornado warning. There we go. So let me get to that, and then let's see. And yes, timing, probably by about 4 o'clock here in Alexandria is when things start to, we get this band of stuff to come through for 6 hours or so. So the text on the warning, I'm going to unplug this. It's almost charged. I can put it here so I'm not looking all around. Let me set it all up. All right, my fifth screen. So the tornado warning, the latest tornado warning. I was trying to use my mouse for the other computer. Doesn't work that way. Here we go. This tornado warning is for DeSoto Parish, South Central Red River Parish, West Central Natchitoches, and Eastern Sabine Parish. Several severe thunderstorms capable of producing a tornado were located near Manny, or 21 miles northwest of Anacoco, moving north at 45. The hazard here is a tornado, of course, and this will be around Manny at 105. Other areas impacted, which is right now, by the way, other areas impacted by this storm include Evelyn, Mount Carmel, Belmont, Oak Grove, Hanna, Pelican, Pleasant Hill, Fisher, Florine, and Rambin. So if you are in anywhere in Sabine Parish or extreme western Natchitoches, southern DeSoto, Red River, these storms are going to continue to kind of pinwheel up toward the northwest. And I've been showing you the velocity signature on this. It's very clear. Let me take the lightning off. It's actually getting a little cluttered because of that. But there's 1, 2, 3 areas of rotation, all right along 171, and moving quickly toward the northwest. So if you are in Sabine Parish, if you're in any of those towns I just mentioned, you want to seek shelter right now. We're going to see a lot of these warnings throughout the day, and not all of them are going to produce. But you just want to be safe, because when we do see them, it's going to happen very quickly. And that warning goes until 1:30. So they're not letting these warnings stretch out too long. You can see the warning kind of overlaps here. So right along that 171 corridor, that's where we have the best chance to see some sort of confirmation with this. Looking down here south of Florine, let me just take a look at everything here. I'm going to see if that's co-located with... No, that looks like that's just some sort of artifact there. I don't believe that's actually something that's touched down. Looks like it's kind of detached from the actual velocity signature. All right, so checking here to see if they have any reports on this. New tornado warning out in Texas. I'm telling you, these things are going to just keep flying. New tornado warning for Jasper County again. Jasper County, Texas, getting absolutely hammered. Already one confirmed tornado. I mean, just to take out the big picture here and show you what's going on, this is why we're so concerned about today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tornado warnings with a confirmed tornado, although that area looks like maybe it's improving. Let me see from the Shreveport radar. No, it's still something there. But yeah, I mean, look at all these warnings just kind of lined up. And this is all going to just inch toward the east throughout the day. Even this cell that's over southwest or west central Rapides Parish, there's a little bit of a kink in there. There's definitely a weak rotation. There's going to be with anything that gets any depth to it today. So this is just going to be the day of tornado warnings, unfortunately, and hopefully we get the warnings and we don't get the confirmation of them like we've seen a couple of times already out in Texas. I'm going to look at the Alexandria cameras because I've got everything kind of trained in the right direction. I just want to see if I'm seeing anything here before I go over to that because I think it's pretty important to have the radar up. So it's going to be one of those days too where you may not get a warning. I mean, you can get a tornado out of a storm so easily when you have wind shear like this and a setup on these tropical systems. All right, now just give me 1 minute. I'm going to see if I can solve this camera problem. All right, so tornado warnings continue for Sabine Parish, for extreme western Natchitoches Parish. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn the air down. It's too humid in here. I'll be back in just a second. Alrighty, folks, I am back. I told you. Oh, the new tornado warning. And look at this thing. There's just nothing to it. Let me go ahead. And when I say there's nothing to it, I mean, it's such a small cell. I'm going to go over to the DeRidder camera here, the one between DeRidder and Sugartown, or DeRidder and Dry Creek. I'll get it right one day. Let's see what they warned that for. Tornado warning for northeastern Beauregard, southeastern Vernon. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Sugartown, moving. Let's see, it's moving toward. I lost my train of thought there because I saw a text come in. North at 40. Hazard, tornado, flying debris, all that stuff. This is going to be near Cravens and Fullerton by 1:15. Let's see what they're seeing. Let me do a little adjustment there. So from the, we got to get in lower than that. So the Lake Charles, that's it right there. That's what we're looking at. And like I said, these storms do not have to have much to them. That one looks like it might have some. I'm playing with the DeRidder camera because I want to see if we don't see something with this one. Just kind of spinning this around to get a view here. Kind of take in the big picture before I show you anything. But yeah, that area of northeastern, right near Sugartown, northeastern Beauregard Parish, camera's right about here. So I'm looking to see what we can see. I'll show you in just a second. I want to make sure I'm looking at the right thing here. So I'm not seeing anything kind of jumping off at me here. But that signature along with The rotation shows me that we potentially have something happening there right over Sugartown, so you need to seek shelter immediately. That tornado warning's until 1:30, but for your purposes right now, you need to seek shelter in Sugartown. Tornado warning just issued a couple of minutes ago there. So if you're in Sugartown, if you are north of there up toward Cravens and Fullerton, you need to seek shelter because these things are moving very quickly. I don't see a tornado, but let me pull you over to the camera. And again, you can see all these cameras as well. And this is going to come right up toward the Leesville one. But right now, it actually has not updated yet. All right, back to radar then while I figure that out. So that's the area north of Sugartown. This is going to be north. Looks like the circulation would be along or near Highway 112 between Talbert Cemetery Road and Highway 113. If you're where 112 and 113 come together near Sugartown, you're going to want to go ahead and seek shelter right now as this storm is in your area. The Dry Creek kids are driving there. Okay, well, that is naughty. Okay, well,
I'm tracking them right now.
yeah, let them know that there's a possible tornado on the ground. So I can't say it's confirmed by any stretch, but that area, this is the area we're talking about. I know we're talking about some kids we know that are going to the Dry Creek camp down there, and this is going to be north of there. So
That's Dry Creek.
okay, well, that's north of them then. So for right now, they're okay, but things, could get crazy later on today. Now I have the camera up on that, so let me go ahead and pull that up. And this is not directly on a tornado or anything, but that just that little bowl back there, it's hard to see, hardly any contrast at all, but that's what I'm watching. And as of now, not seeing anything that is confirmed, but watching very carefully to see if we do see that. So this tornado warning right now, I'll show you where it is, where we're looking right now. This area of rotation that's moving up toward Cravens and Fullerton, that's why we have this tornado warning. Let me see what we're looking at on the debris track. It looked like there was a little something that popped in there. I'm not sure yet. Not seeing it on the camera, that's for sure. So southeast. All right, just moving things around here. But tornado warning continues for parts of Vernon and northeastern Beauregard Parish. Let's go to reflectivity and show you that this storm has like no lightning. It's not big. I mean, that just looks like a little cell. That's why I'm saying this one here near Alexandria, we're going to want to watch for that. I mean, anything that forms out here today could produce rotation, and then we could see a tornado from that. Also up here into Sabine Parish, we have a tornado warning. So the big view showing, when I pause this, that we have a confirmed tornado in Texas. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tornado warnings, up from 6 just a few minutes ago. So this is going to be one of those days here where we just have kind of a continuous stream of tornado warnings. Anything new that develops down here to the southeast will bear watching quickly, and obviously we are going to be watching everything very quickly or very closely. But right now, the most robust thunderstorm activity definitely up here over Sabine Parish, but we can put on the velocity and show you that while we have several areas of rotation up there, we also have this one down here that may even be more pronounced with that very small cell that's now crossed the parish border into Vernon Parish. So tornado warnings continue for Sabine. The western one that was right along Toledo Bend, that is canceled for now, but this one here over southeastern Sabine or southeastern Vernon Parish continues. New circulation will move into Vernon Parish, will approach Highway 10 west of Pitkin near the Marlow Fire Department area. So if you're in that area, you're going to want to go ahead and seek shelter as this storm continues to move your way. Checking that camera again because we should have a pretty good view of this if something were happening. Now, it is probably about 8-10 miles away, but being as high up as we are, it's possible we can see something. Not seeing anything on that right now, so that's good news. We don't want confirmation, but if it's there, we certainly want to see it. Not seeing that from the DeRitter camera or the Leesville camera from what I can see right now. But if you're in those areas, we could be missing it. It's real hazy. The air is real thick and humid out there, so it's going to be tough to see these things as it's typically tough to see them from Louisiana, but yeah, not seeing any real clear debris signatures from Lake Charles. Let's look at Shreveport. Again, Fort Johnson radar is down, so we do not have that at our disposal for today. But every little cell that pops, you're getting that rotation in it. So we are going to see probably dozens of tornado warnings today. And hopefully they are false alarms, but you can just see kind of how it's going. That confirmed tornado gone now, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, down to 8 tornado warnings right now, but still some significant stuff out there. Leesville. And what I'm doing is just adjusting these because sometimes they're coming up on one side of the camera, sometimes on the other. So I'm adjusting those feeds. But we have several different tornado warnings going. Not seeing any confirmation on these. Checking over to Shreveport. Yeah, still no confirmation there, but pretty significant rotation is showing up on that storm that is now into southeastern Vernon Parish. So if you're near that Cravens, Fullerton, 112, 113 area, Marquee, you are under a tornado warning for a storm that's not thundering. That's totally possible in these kind of scenarios, and we are seeing that this go around here, and we want to be lower in on this, so I'm going to go over to the Lake Charles, and yeah, that's rotation still there south of Cravens. So if you're in that area, please seek shelter, as this storm is going to most likely move overhead here in the next couple of minutes, moving north at 40 miles per hour. So lots going on there. Let's see. Okay. All right, so tornado warnings continue across the area. Especially with this cell right now south of Cravens. We have this one up here, and it has several areas of rotation. So Manny, looks like north of Fisher and Florine now, but 2 areas of rotation. One right over Manny, the other kind of between Zwolle and Pleasant Hill, and these are going to continue to kind of move toward the north-northwest near Pleasant Hill and Converse, where there's another area of rotation. So just everything. That's why we have that other small tornado warning there. If you have to be out and about today, you just have to be ready to seek shelter as quickly as possible. There's just not much more you can kind of say about this stuff. You're going to probably see a lot of warnings that are not going to materialize, but there's going to be the potential, because these develop so quickly, that we're going to miss out on warnings that are issued for storms or that are not issued at all. It's just the way it kind of goes with these storms and the way things are set up today, because we have such a fast-moving, rapidly changing kind of atmosphere here. So let me go over and look and see if I have any questions. Yes, they are starting to spin up. Let me go. And there's another confirmed tornado that's just barely out of our area. CC around Converse. That's probably what they are just now going confirmed on. Yeah, I see what you're seeing there too. So this one's confirmed just west of Logansport. This is right up near the north end of Toledo Bend there. That one is now confirmed. And that area, probably another confirmed one, it looks like. That. Good eye. Thank you for pointing that out. Never hurts to do that. I might not always see the comments, but yeah, this area here, northwest of Converse, looks like we could have another confirmed tornado. This is most definitely confirmed there southwest of Logansport. So that one right there, you see how it started, just a little yellow blip, and then you can see how they both have intensified there. So this is just how quickly things are going today. This one is in the northwest corner of Sabine Parish. The other one is over into Texas here. So I'm just checking to see what they have on this. Radar confirmed tornado. That is for the Shelby County, Texas area. Yeah, there's no new information on that one. Confidence is decreasing. There's a true couplet on the storm in southeast Beauregard, but the tornado warning, that's Vernon, I think. So yeah, confirmed tornado there on that one as well. So we have 2 confirmed tornadoes close to the area. This one down here looks like it's not quite as bad as it was. Let me look at velocity so we can go focus on these. Yeah, it doesn't look that intense right now. So we're going to come up here and we're going to look at the velocity from the Shreveport radar as we have 2 confirmed tornadoes, one just southwest of Logansport and this other one near Converse, northwest of Converse, that's moving up toward Lula. It's going to be moving out of our area, but we'll definitely stick with it while this is confirmed. There is the CC drop. That's as clear as it gets. So if you are, since this one's in Texas and totally out of my area, I'm going to come in on this from Old Camp Road up to Barnes Road, Fire Lane Road. If you are in Lula, you need to seek shelter right now, as this is on the ground, confirmed via radar from Shreveport, and debris tracker is showing right along Old Camp Road, southeast of Lula, northwest of Converse. In between those 2 areas, that's where we have this tornado on the ground in northwestern Sabine Parish. So this is as real as it gets here. If you are in these communities, this is absolutely on the ground, and I'm going to see if we have any other information on it. 3 radar confirmed tornadoes ongoing. 2 are in Shelby County, 1 in Sabine Parish. So there's actually 3 confirmed going right now. My goodness. Again, we're locking in on this one, although it's edging toward the end of the service area. We're not going to break off just for that. We prioritize if they're closer into central Louisiana, but we're not going to abandon these because I know there could be people watching this as it tracks out of the area. So 3 confirmed tornadoes going on right now. And I don't see the update on that one, but it's confirmed, and that's all that really matters for us right now. Just clicking to see if I can get some more information for you on that. Continues the tornado warning. Yeah, confirmed tornado near Converse, 14 miles south of Mansfield, moving north at 40. So if you're in Mansfield or west of Mansfield, you're going to want to be careful with this. Damaging tornado on the ground, confirmed. Converse, Oak Grove, Grand Cane, and Stanley. You are in the path of this one. So, yeah, multiple tornado warnings going, with some confirmed tornadoes out there and more storms developing across the area. And it looks like that thing might. Thanks, Jude. I appreciate that. It looks like this one's actually strengthening right now. So if you are, up towards Shreveport, you're going to want to watch this. Typically, we don't see really long-lived tornadoes out of setups like this, but if you are in the community of Lula, you want to seek shelter immediately, as this is, let me take it back a few minutes here. You can see this thing is heading directly for you. This is right now probably over Lula, because these are moving at 40 to 50 miles per hour. So if you are anywhere, Barnes Road, Lula Lane, the WPA Road north of town there, Fire Lane Road, you're familiar with these areas. If that rings a bell, Barnes Road, it's probably too late to seek shelter as this tornado is overhead right now. If you're in Union Springs, it's probably past you, but sometimes we do see a little tilt to the radar. So I don't want to get too confident in that kind of thing. And this is a pretty significant debris signature that's it's about 2 miles wide. That does not mean the tornado is 2 miles wide, but it could be venting that debris out up to that level. And looking at the height of this, we're up at about 2,000 feet. And what I'm going to try and do here, because I'm going to just get this computer out of the way, it's in my way. What I'm going to try to do here is go up another layer. I'm going to go back to reflectivity, which you can even see the debris ball on reflectivity. That is a nasty storm heading toward Lula. Definitely a debris ball going there. And this is heading toward the north-northwest, toward the community of Lula. If that sounds familiar, if that's where you're from, right there, that is a tornado on the ground that's heading toward the north-northwest. All right. We're just going to keep it simple here. Actually, I'm going to look at something on this. But a confirmed tornado near the Lula community, actually moving right into Lula right now. So if you are there, you most certainly want to seek shelter. I'm just seeing if I can catch how high this debris is going. And yeah, it's visible up to the 4th tilt on radar, so whoops. So that's at least 6,000 feet up in the air that we're seeing debris. So this thing is, it's a stout tornado. Looks like it's pretty strong here. So if you're in that area, you definitely want to seek shelter. Let me see if we can see this from the Lake Charles radar, because that would be very impressive. Yeah, and it looks like that's right over Lula right now. So now we're looking up at 12,500 feet. So being that high up and still seeing that, that shows me that this is a strong tornado that's on the ground, most likely moving through Lula and then up toward Highway 84. If you're in Mansfield, you want to seek shelter, even though it looks like this stays just west of you. If you're in South Mansfield, if you're kind of between Mansfield and Stanley, along Highway 84, this is going to be something you're going to want to seek shelter. If you're Hunter Road, Blunt Mill Road, Cedar Hill, Harts Bluff, Jesse Wyatt, that area, that is where this is headed right now. And when we look at the Shreveport radar, you can see that it hasn't even caught up to that yet. So this, we're waiting on a scan there, and it looks like we have new tornado warnings coming in as well. So multiple tornado warnings going. Still have that one in Vernon Parish. We have 3 confirmed tornadoes. Things did just update there, so let's go in because this is closer in. And yeah, right directly over the community of Lula. I believe that would be extreme northwestern Sabine Parish. That is into DeSoto, it looks like. But a confirmed tornado on the ground in Lula, Louisiana. So if you know folks there, if you know people between Mansfield and Stanley up here along Highway 84, Hunter, you're in this as well. This thing is heading toward the north-northwest, and I'll put it in motion over the last half hour, and you can just see how quickly that thing pops up out of nothing. And then you have one tornado there, one out here. This is the extreme north end of Toledo Bend. There's Logansport right there. Hopefully this one on the western side of 84 into Texas is weakening. This one over Lula does not look like it's weakening. And when I look at this signature on radar, it's pretty clear, but that's not the strongest signature I've ever seen on radar. So it shows me that today we're not even going to need a crazy strong signature on radar because we have all that wind shear, we have low cloud bases, and we are going to see some pretty nasty storms out there that can quickly produce tornadoes. Just checking over on a couple of things here. But Lula, Louisiana, confirmed tornado for you. Let's take a quick look at the big picture here. We're going to go to the Louisiana shot. I'll take a drink of water. So, tornado warning over Vernon Parish. Hopefully that one will go away quickly. Hopefully they all go away quickly. Confirmed tornado over Lula. That is in extreme southern DeSoto Parish, crossing out of Sabine Parish, where this probably did touch down. And then we have that tornado warning over eastern Sabine Parish and extreme western Natchitoches as well. Try to see if we have any train of tornadic supercells moving across northeast or northwest Louisiana will continue to advance north, likely toward the Shreveport, Bossier City metro in the next hour. So that's a heads up for you, Shreveport, Bossier. Tune into local media because I'm going to be covering stuff down here. You know, if there's nothing else going on, we can talk about that. But there's going to be a ton of tornado warnings today, so I don't want to cross over too much. Honey, I don't have a cough drop. You have to bring me one. Let's see. All right, so tornado warning canceled in Vernon Parish and continuing up here into Sabine and western Natchitoches. Elsewhere, hopefully we can get a little bit of a break out of this. Looking at a couple of things right now, and then we will go right back into the Lula area where a confirmed tornado is on the ground there in southern DeSoto Parish. if you're up that way, this thing is as confirmed as they get. And I'll pause it and take you and show you what we have. It looks like another one north of Manny is possible. Thank you. Oh, were they? They were there. She knew. I knew that. All right. Got a cough drop now. Let me take a look here. That is your confirmed tornado. That is through Lula and now moving up into some of those streets we were talking about earlier, where you see these blue colors from Hunter Road over to Jesse Wyatt Road, Harts Bluff Road. That is where this tornado at least is or was a couple of minutes ago. This is going to be crossing 84 here any minute. And I'm going to take a look for the Lake Charles radar. Yeah, and it looks like we're still seeing this debris being lofted over 12,000 feet up in the air. That is a very clear debris signature with this one. And I'm going to be watching this area down here because we have a really good velocity couplet showing up down here. It even looks better than what we're seeing there. So if you're in Pleasant Hill, Spring Ridge, Belmont especially, this tornado warning for you, it looks like this is potentially going to be causing something to drop here pretty soon. Just given what we've been seeing today, I think a signature like that is going to produce a tornado. Yeah, that's a nasty looking signature there, south of Pleasant Hill. And that's from the Shreveport radar. So we're only looking 3,100 feet up. Right here, we're at 1,600 feet up, and we're still seeing that potential for a tornado on the ground, actually seeing the confirmation here. Still waiting on that next update, but this one near Pleasant Hill, and I believe it was Belmont. Yeah, that's where we have the most significant rotation with that in our area right now. That's the base velocity. This is storm relative if you're riding along with it. Let me see. Yes, Vernon's has expired. And they're coming fast and furious here today, but for now, it looks like the worst is up here in northern Sabine Parish and hopefully exiting the area and hopefully weakening in the next little bit. That's the one in Vernon, really has weakened. Not much going there. Going to take a look at it on the camera here in a second, but confirmed tornadoes. You can see the debris ball on that thing on radar. That is nasty. That is a long track tornado here that's been on the ground now for probably a good 15-20 minutes, and it's continuing on to the northwest. Typically, we do not expect this. Thank you, Hannah. Appreciate that. But let me see. Bad stuff in Alexandria, 4 or 5 o'clock is when I think we're going to see things really kind of go downhill here. And we have a new tornado warning on the Vernon storm. So just when I try to turn my back on it, it's not one of those days. That's why I'm just going to keep the stream up and eat cough drops, and we're going to get through this together. Storm relative. We're going to look at the, oh yeah. So I'm going to do the thing where I check the camera behind the scenes here, because I should have a view at this in Leesville. Okay, so I am going to turn this, because again, the issue I have here is that we do have a certain little area that's going to be blocked off, because you can't have a full 360-degree view. I'll tell you what, the wind is whipping up on that camera site. All right, moving that. That is the area we're looking at. I'm just trying to get it off this obstructed view and see if we can't see something here, and hopefully we don't see a thing. But we have this area of rotation, and then a confirmed tornado over the Lula community. So I'm going to go back and take a look at the Shreveport radar, see what we're seeing there. This one is looking nasty over northern Vernon Parish. All right, I have the camera positioned, and I'll be watching that. Over Belmont, let me see. I'll bet you we have a CC drop. It looks like it's somewhat dropping, but that storm north of Lula is still venting out debris over 12,000 feet high, so that is a strong tornado. And then when you go and look at the Shreveport radar, you can actually see that debris ball in there. So to recap right now, we have one tornado warning in Vernon Parish. That is a new one. Again, don't sleep on this storm in Northwest Rapides Parish. Everything's getting some rotation to it today. Everything when we get a red core seems to be getting that. And then we have this up here. Doesn't look like much, but right there, that little tail, that is a stout area of rotation. We have one near Manny, and then this more significant one up near Pleasant Hill. And that's going to continue on toward the north-northwest, and you can see the evolution of that over the last half hour really tightened up. And a confirmed tornado continues north of Lula. Seeing if I have any updates on that, sorry. Fort Johnson radar picked a terrible day to go out. Going back to the Lake Charles stuff, so yeah. That's the new warning on the Vernon storm. Remember, this tornado watch goes until 10 o'clock tonight, so we are literally just getting started. Fort Polk, are you in the area that needs to take cover? Let me see. You should, just because it's that close, but I know it's annoying to do that if you don't have to. It looks like it's cleared the area. I would say if you're up on the northeast end of the base there, right close to 28 perhaps. This is crossing 28 near Slagle and Hicks right now. But look, I mean, new storms already popping to the south. This is just how quickly things happen here. Gonna pause that. Look at the debris track. Looks like it's finally fading out as this crosses over 84. Still seeing something debris falling out of the sky likely near Stanley and along Highway 84, but hopefully that's a sign of weakening there as that storm continues on to the northwest toward more populated areas. We still have this tornado warning down here. That curl right there near Belmont. That is a significant piece of rotation right there. So if you're in Pleasant Hill, Dobbs Crossing, Pelican, that area, go down and do it street by street here. Moffett Lane, Jameson Road, Progress Church Road, anywhere up into Pleasant Hill, you are going to see this cross right over town here. So there's some pretty significant rotation with that. Very clear signature there that there's rotation. All right, we have several tornado warnings ongoing here. We are down to 3 in the area, but many more pressing up toward I-20 from Longview and Tyler down into Shreveport as well. I'm just looking at the Leesville storm. Not seeing anything as of this point. Let me check something, though. I'm going to try to kind of look through the tower here. So And if you're watching these like online, they're going to be moving all over. That's just because I'm kind of scanning the sky. Now, don't have a camera up here, but if you are in Pleasant Hill, Dobbs Crossing, Belmont, that area, if you're north of Belmont, that's where I think we see our next likely confirmed tornado, as there is really strong rotation with that storm. So if you're in that area, right up in here, you want to seek shelter right now. It doesn't look like much on radar. There's some lightning, so you're hearing this storm, thankfully. But that is a really significant area of rotation that shows up even more when we get on that storm relative and we can ride along with the storm, and you see how the wind's going if you're just moving as the storm moves. So we're really seeing that rotation, and it's only at about 2,800 feet. So that is that's low enough to where I think that's going to translate down to the ground pretty easily. Just looking at the updated tornado warnings, nothing new here. All right, so looks like we had another radar scan update there right over Spring Ridge. This is coming right into Pleasant Hill. If this is on the ground, this is going right into Pleasant Hill, and you're going to want to be seeking shelter right away. You should be there already. As many walls as you can get between you and outside, and bring the phone with you, and I'll keep you as up to date as I possibly can on this thing. But that right there is a very significant looking area of rotation. Not seeing a real big drop in the debris tracker, and thankfully not seeing one as intense as it was earlier. I think that's probably just debris that's kind of falling out of the cloud now, and we're not seeing things being lofted, perhaps, but still confirmed tornado warning for that storm northwest of Lula up toward Grand Cane and Funston. Let's see. Tell her to go through Kinder. So we have 4 confirmed tornadoes right now on this kind of northeastern flank of the storm. There is one of them out in Texas, right over Carthage, it looks like. Looks like that could possibly be... no, I don't see that might not be. That might be an anomaly. But this right here... This area over Pleasant Hill, that's the one that I'm watching most closely for our area. This is going to be moving up toward Grove Hill, Oxford, Pelican, Old Pleasant Hill. That tornado is now confirmed. So we have a radar confirmed tornado. Get you the latest. Okay. So this was at 1:42, 2 minutes ago. Confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located 11 miles northeast of Converse, or 15 miles southeast of Mansfield, moving north at 50. This is a radar-confirmed tornado that could impact Mansfield, Coshada, Pleasant Hill, South Mansfield, Gloucester, Carmel, Evelyn, Grand Bayou, Belmont, Kingston, Loggy Bayou, Pelican, Crichton, Reed Store, Rambin, Marthaville, Armistead, and Ajax. And I apologize if I screwed any of those up. Some of those are just a little bit out of my area, so I'm not sure on how to say those. But this is the storm we've been watching very closely. Of course, we have a tornado warning with this one east of Leesville as well. But I see the sun popping out here. I definitely don't like that. Let me finish in the cough drop. Pleasant Hill, this is right overhead right now. If you are anywhere in Pleasant Hill, you want to go ahead and seek shelter. You want to be in there right now. Pleasant Hill Road, the WPA Road, Antioch Church Road. Just reading off some roads, if these sound familiar to you, down the line here up toward Pelican, Ogletree Road, Cross Road, All Saints Road. If you're near these, know where these are, you can see this storm is throwing some problems out here around Pleasant Hill, and that's your confirmed tornado. It's not as bright of a signature as what we saw earlier, but it's possible this is just now touching down, and we're starting to see that start to lift debris up into the air. And I'm just seeing if we have updates on these things. It's new tornado warnings for Texas. So still the warning there in Leesville. Looking at the velocity on this real quick, I want to jump down here. If you're in Simpson, Slagle, that area, there is a tornado warning. This is not confirmed, but right, it looks like over Slagle is where that rotation is going to be. Confirmed tornado near Pleasant Hill or over Pleasant Hill right now. This is a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado. So if you are in that area or you're up toward Mansfield, Coshada, probably stays west of Coshada, but Pelican, Old Pleasant Hill, right there, that curly Q, that's where your tornado is, and you can see that the velocity lines up with that. New tornado warning in Texas, not for us. That is Jefferson County, if you're wondering. Oh, yeah. And here's the thing, and they're noting this to first responders that are out in Jasper, Texas right now that are helping people recover from the morning tornado. They've got storms still kind of training over that area, so still some very rough stuff. It doesn't mean just because you had one storm go through today that that's it and that you're not going to see more. This is one of those days where we could see multiple tornadoes in the same location. So you want to just stay ahead of this, and we're going to keep, watching things. We're going to be keeping you as updated as we possibly can as these storms continue to develop and just kind of pinwheel this way. And I've got an obstructed view if you're looking on the camera from Leesville, but I'm looking into this storm and not seeing anything. I can show you real quick, because that one is about to exit the area. So Leesville, that's the Beauregard camera. It'll come up in a second. There we go. That's your obstructed view. Let me take my dome off the camera for a second. But you can see there is most certainly a storm there, but I'm not seeing any sort of power flashes. I'm not seeing anything that indicates that there's anything on the ground right now. But we could be missing things because, you can't see through metal. Actually, let's go back to that. Actually, no, let's not. Let's go back to the confirmed tornado that is up in Pleasant Hill right now. And that thing is looking nasty as ever. This is a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado over Pleasant Hill. So in that area, that's what we have right now. Let me see. 2 TDS signatures appearing in the tornado warning covering Pleasant Hill and south of Mansfield. So Pleasant Hill and then south of Mansfield. So that's the one over Oxford. So yeah, here's what we're talking about. This is debris signature number 1 and number 2. And these are going to continue on toward the north-northwest quickly. So if you're in Old Pleasant Hill, Mansfield, Grove Hill, anywhere in this warning, when you have a warning that's confirmed like this, you want to take it even more seriously. I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to take any warning seriously, but let's just say that warning, these warnings that are flashing purple, is another level up from the warning here in Vernon Parish, which you should take seriously as well. This storm showing some rotation right west of Simpson, right over top of Slagle, and moving toward the north, toward Alco, Kyle, Mink, Pison, that area. There's an update on that. Still looks like a little something. Let me check the CC. No drop there, so we're going to go right back up to the storm that is now north of Pleasant Hill, it looks like. There's the other one near Oxford, and let's take a look at the, both of those have most certainly touched down. So 2 more confirmed tornadoes by radar, 2 in the same tornado warning. If you are in Mansfield and you by chance are watching this, you need to seek shelter right now. These are moving toward the north-northwest. Yes, I'm still thinking 4 or 5 o'clock for Alexandria is when things are going to start to go downhill. But that is 2 tornadoes confirmed right there. This one is out of that confirmed area. Well, actually, let's see, that just west of Grand Cane. So it looks like we might have 3 confirmed tornadoes in these 2 confirmed warnings. Let me see. Yeah, that's what we have. So 1 confirmed tornado west of Grand Cane, another one coming up toward Mansfield, and then this one north of Pleasant Hill that's moving up toward Pelican. So a dizzying amount of tornadoes for today. So confirmed, I've lost count. I mean, to be honest, since I'm looking out of area 2. Yeah, all clear given on Fort Johnson. That makes sense. But you can see here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tornado warnings right now, and we have 3 confirmed. So to see these confirmed tornadoes like this and to see so many of them showing up just shows me that the atmosphere is going to pretty much... It's going to pretty much put down a tornado when we develop a decent supercell out of this, which we've seen a lot of. Yeah, they're talking about 3 confirmed tornadoes on the ground right now. Some flooding out in Texas. So that is what's going on right now. Fortunately, not seeing a confirmed report on this one. I do want to take a look at the Lake Charles radar and see if we're seeing that. It gets a lot noisier up here. That's why that Lula tornado was so concerning, because we were seeing a real good signature with that at about 12,000 feet up. So we will get back to the Shreveport and just hope and pray that these are just quick spin-ups here. But if you are in Mansfield, you need to seek shelter right now, because you not only have that tornado. Look, when I put this in motion, and I'm going to go on a short loop over the last, let's go 15 minutes, because these haven't been around that long. Watch what happens here. You've got one pop near Pleasant Hill. You got this one southeast of Mansfield. These are moving kind of toward the north and north-northwest. It's possible this one takes a little bit of a left hook and it runs right over where this one is. So if you do have damage, or if you're dealing with problems from these tornadoes, it's not like a typical storm where it moves through, tornado gets out of here, and you have the devastation, but then you have time to at least kind of pick up the pieces and recover. We could see new tornadoes forming quickly, and then when you look down the line here, getting more, and a new one now for Natchitoches Parish. So let me see. That's the storm moving out of Vernon Parish. So a new tornado warning. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Kurthwood or 8 miles north of Slagle. That's moving north at 45. It's going to be near Natchitoches at 2:15. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Kisatchie, Melrose, Robeline, Flora, Provençal, Cypress, Natchez, Bellwood, Bermuda, and Hazelwood. So we now have 4 confirmed tornadoes. Actually, I think 3, because this confirmed one has transitioned into being this one. This one is a new warning for Natchitoches Parish. And no, I don't see a new one for Fort Johnson right now. But more supercells forming down near Port Arthur. You can see these are trying, and these are going to eventually kind of take over, and we're going to see more of these storms develop and move into the area. But let me take a look at, I'm going to pause it. Make sure we don't have any. Yeah, so we have confirmed tornado right here that's kind of under both of the warnings. Take off the warnings. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Those are all tornadoes that are currently on the ground in Louisiana, with one up here northeast or west of Grand Cane, and then kind of between Grand Cane and Long Street. And we have this one near Oxford and this one north of Pleasant Hill. That's moving toward the north-northwest or north at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. So the shear rate, yeah, it shows. I'm going to do the shear swath, and you can see how, well, you can't see it. I don't know why it's acting like that. So I'm just going through all the products here. Definitely strong rotation moving out of Sabine Parish now. Let me pull the warnings back up. That is moving into DeSoto Parish, and this warning is in effect until 2:30. Losing track of time here, so yeah, it's 1:55. And then this warning for Natchitoches Parish goes until 2:45. Let me actually go and look at the Lake Charles radar for that one. Might be a little bit better. And yeah, that actually west of Simpson looks like it's really kind of coming together. So we have a tornado warning still in effect for northeastern Vernon Parish. This is northeast of Leesville, northeast of the base, northeast of Fort Johnson. Let me look and see. I'm going to pull up the Natchitoches camera, because that one is going to provide us some pretty wicked views, I'm thinking, as this comes in. And we are going to turn this south. So I am looking from Turpin Stadium down toward the airport. And I'll show you here just a second. So I've got the camera in Natchitoches. This is facing generally toward the south, and that's the airport right there, and I'm going to be watching this one closely. I've got this one up on the big screen here, but for now we're going to go back over to the radar and see what we have going on there. Looks a little bit weaker on the rotation there, but still certainly some rotation and looking. I only have 2 radars to work with. My goodness, it'd be so great to have them all today because we really need to see these low levels of these storms. And as of right now, it's just tough to kind of keep up with them all. But tornado warning now, the newest is for Natchitoches Parish. This is giving you some good lead time in Natchitoches because this storm is way south of you. We also have this cell here in southeastern Natchitoches moving up toward Montgomery and northwestern Grant Parish. And that one's got some rotation too. This one right here looks like it's going to be the next one that's going to try to produce, and that's going to be heading right up toward Provençal, right up toward Natchitoches, and some of your smaller communities here. Kyle, Mink, Alco, Lotus, Bellwood, Provençal again, Cypress, that area. I know it's pretty sparsely populated down here, but there are most certainly some people that live out in that area. So if you're in those areas, you're going to want to seek shelter right now. There's your other tornado warning for 2 ongoing confirmed tornadoes with a 3rd southwest of Stonewall. And you talk about a nasty radar signature. My goodness, these things are all going off. But there's one very clear tornado on the ground. It looks like we may have lost another one of those, that one that was north of Oxford, though still seeing something faint there. And this one that came through Pleasant Hill, moving toward Grove Hill and up toward Goss and toward Mansfield down the line. You're going to want to watch this one carefully because that is a confirmed tornado that is 100% on the ground. Let me take these warnings off for just a second. But yeah, that is 2 very as clear as they get signatures on tornadoes. This one southwest of Stonewall, this one between Pleasant Hill and Mansfield. I'll put the motion on these and I'll leave the warnings off for a second, but you can see we had that one tornado that moved into Texas and that one has dissipated. There's your new one that's going to eventually get over into Texas here in about 15 minutes. Then we had another one that was moving toward Mansfield. Looks like it has weakened. And then this one that came up over Pleasant Hill and is now moving to where it's going to come in probably just east of Mansfield. But Grove Hill, you are next in line for a damaging tornado that is most clearly lifting debris way up into the sky here. I'm going to see if I can see it from the Lake Charles. Well, yeah, there is a signature there. So seeing that at about 12,000 feet up again. So it looks like another strong tornado headed up into that area. Again, watching the camera up here in Natchitoches just to see if we see anything showing up here as that storm comes in from the south. All right. So Grove Hill next in line for that one. And then we have these cells that are back in our area, which I've kind of got to lock in on because you've got to, let me put the warnings back. Look at just, without the warnings, you can see how these storms they're kind of kidney beaning out. All these mini supercells here. That one right there with a very clear debris signature up in DeSoto Parish. Let's take a look at other radars. Still getting that rotation there, still seeing. See, when we look higher up into this, I mean, this is a clear on-the-ground tornado, but when I'm looking 12,000 feet up into it, it doesn't look the same. So when I come over here and look at the Shreveport radar, you can see a very clear, there's definitely a tornado on the ground signature from this. I mean, that is gate-to-gate shear right there, going from 56 miles per hour one way to 38 the other way. So we're looking at almost 100 miles an hour of rotation over these 2 bins that are right next to each other. And it's possible I didn't even get the strongest one. Let's see. 64, yeah. And then 40 something. So 100 to 110 miles per hour of wind shear with this, with a clear signature that this is on the ground. Yep, you need to be in your safe spot. Another circulation developing north of Coshada. That's going to head towards Shreveport and Bossier. So if you are up in Shreveport and Bossier, you know, I hate to chase you off here, but I'm going to have to focus on the stuff down south. You have a circulation up here north of Coshada that you're going to have to be concerned with. Right there. That area is what they're talking about. That's moving right up 71. Let me pull the warnings back on. And this is right into Red River Parish. Then we have a confirmed tornado right here in DeSoto Parish, and another confirmed tornado that's going to be moving out of DeSoto Parish, and that's going to be coming up into southwestern Caddo Parish. Just making sure we're not confirmed on any of these down in our area. Yeah, these are... They're not monster supercells in their size. They're monsters in how they're just tapping into whatever the atmosphere is giving them, and they are absolutely just unloading with these tornadoes that are not only getting warned but being confirmed. And then we have, you see these little mini cells here. They don't look like much, but they're developing, and they're going to be coming across the area and producing problems through the afternoon as well. So far on these, the rotation signature is not quite as scary. But watching both of them very carefully. Watching not the Gina camera. I was just thinking of the Gina camera and facing that toward the west, because that thing's way up high. So I'm going to just put that one to where it's facing west. I had everything kind of facing south because I figured everything was going to be coming in from that way, but we'll turn that one just a little bit. You can just see the clouds whipping by in this thing. So, no, that's a flood warning. It's out of our area. Bo Allen. Going over here. I mean, you can just see these small cells. They're getting that look. And I mean, I guarantee there's several areas of rotation. Yeah, right up along this line here. Anywhere in Jasper County, you could see another tornado. This is still confirmed. This one's heading toward Mansfield. As long as this one's not confirmed, I'm going to be watching this one closely because I know it's just out of the area. But if you're in Mansfield, if you're up here over near Coulter, if you're, I think that's Keatchie, if you're in that area, tornado on the ground confirmed right now. And there's another one there south of Grove Hill. Let's see what the update on CC shows. That's gonna be rough. So two of these on the ground right now. First off, this one near Keatchie. If you're in that town, if you're just west of that town, if you're just northwest, we have another update on this. Heading up toward Four Forks, that is a tornado that is absolutely on the ground. You don't even need to see velocity, but there it is. That's a tornado on the ground. Let's go back to the other one, and hopefully it disappeared. I doubt that it did. No, that's right over Grove Hill right now. So if you are in Grove Hill, if you know people in Grove Hill, you might want to go check on them as soon as you can here. Though, again, I don't want to send people out on the road because there's going to be a ton more of this activity through the day. And I can't tell you just because you got hit by one that you might not get hit by another. This is going to head up toward Mansfield, between Mansfield and Neighborton, New Rockdale, that area. That is where this one is going. Let me hit play so we can see kind of the general track here. You can see that jump kind of from Pleasant Hill to Grove Hill, Carmel, Goss, Holly, that area. Probably east of Mansfield. We did have that other tornado there, and you can still see some of the debris coming out of that. And then another significant tornado. Looks like it's on the ground here between Keatchie and Four Forks. So two confirmed tornadoes in state right now. The warning has been dropped for Vernon Parish. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, that one up in southwest Caddo is looking nasty, as is the one that's moving through DeSoto, just east of Mansfield. Figured it was going to be one of those days. I did not see it getting started quite this quickly. This right here between Kyle, Mink, and Lotus, kind of right out here in the middle of, I'm guessing that's like the Kisatchie Hills, yeah. So you just have Longleaf Vista, so up in that area, very pretty area up there. That's where this is tracking right now. Fortunately, not a ton of people live out there, but this is going to be moving up toward Natchitoches, so we're watching that one carefully. And there's another tornado warning for this one that is now moving into Grant Parish. So let's take a look at this. This is for Grant, Natchitoches, and Wynn Parish. Tornado warning for west central Grant Parish, northeastern Natchitoches, and western Wynn Parish at 2:05. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Montgomery or 11 miles north of Lena, moving north at 35. This is radar indicated rotation, and this is going to be one to watch, as we have been. But we pretty much know when they hit that stage, we're going to go tornado warned, and hopefully that's it. Hopefully we don't see this do anything else. Spinning cameras around to see if I see anything. They're continuing the tornado warning. That's the Caddo one. At 2:06, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was 9 miles west of Stonewall or 19 miles southwest of Shreveport, moving northwest at 35. So this one will stay west of Shreveport. We'll have to watch this one further down the line. But starting to see this one really come together over southern Natchitoches Parish. All right, I'm going to go back and take a look at that. I had the Gina camera up for a minute. Natchitoches is the one to watch right now. As this thing continues to move up overhead, I'm going to take a look out toward Montgomery on that one first. Southeast. And let's go over and take a look at that. This is looking from Turpin Stadium across the baseball field. This is looking toward the Montgomery storm. That's the best view we have right now. I will pop my head off for a second. Thank you. That right there is looking a little south of due east. So you can see how there's just not a ton of contrast. It's going to be tough to see something unless it's close or if we get power flashes. As I spin this around to the south, that's the airport view. That's going to be the other cell that's coming in. And let me move over here and see what kind of obstruction we have there. Not much. Okay, so not seeing anything, but we'll be watching this one very, very closely. In fact, I'm going to just leave this pointing south. And we'll come back over here to the radar. See if we have a scan update there. Strengthening signature there in southwestern Caddo Parish. That's going to be heading to Texas, and at that point, I'm peeling off of it. There's the other one that's just west of 49. Let's see what exit that is. It's the Highway 84 exit. I believe that's mile marker 172, if I'm not mistaken. And we have 2 confirmed tornadoes with those. So there is tornado number 1. Number 2 looks like we're starting to see perhaps a little bit of a fade on that as this has moved over Grove Hill. It's heading up toward Goss and Carmel, and that's going to be that's that exit that'll take you to the north end of Toledo Bend. So yeah, I think that's mile marker 172. So confirmed tornado about to cross at that exit. It looks like it's trying to weaken, but we still have a pretty good velocity signature with that. And then this one's just absolutely not good up there in southwestern Caddo Parish. That's the second confirmed tornado. But locally, we have to go back to this because our local area is what we're going to be concentrating on. And we have 2 tornado warnings right now that are in effect. I just need to set one thing up. No confirmation on those just yet. I just have to do one thing at a time here. And just remember, if you go to look at the cameras, just click on them and you'll get the live feed. Apart from Toledo Bend, which went out in one of the storms this morning, so we're not seeing that one back up just yet, unfortunately. But the other 7 are operational and working well. Peak wind gust at Natchitoches so far has been 25 miles per hour. I'm pulling that one up to take a look at it right now. Okay. Just got to realign a few of these things, making sure nothing's actually on the ground. Nope. So that is right over Montgomery right now. That rotation right over Montgomery, and the next bit of rotation right here over Lotus, that's moving up toward Natchez and Natchitoches. This one also going to cross I-49, and we're gonna, if there's something with that, we're gonna have a view of it, because that's going to be coming in right close to Turpin Stadium. So that's why I have the camera up there. You can watch it. It is live right now, and if you want to keep that going, if you want to have both screens on. But yeah, looking at wind speeds, they have gusted now up to 26. So it's breezy out there, not seeing like damaging winds or anything crazy. But with these storms rotating, it's possible we start to see more tornado warnings, and we've already seen a ton. So this is what we have right now. Let me go back to the Lake Charles radar, because that's where these newer cells are forming. And that's the problem. You know, you get every storm that develops, it starts to rotate. So I look for more tornado warnings throughout the day. I don't like to see this, because that means these storms are going to start coming up and impacting other parts of the area. So we're going to be including others in this tornado threat, where so far, like, we haven't had any issues here in Rapides Parish. But these storms here, these cells, are something that we're going to have to watch very carefully. Tornado sirens going off in Campty. Yeah, I believe it. And I apologize if there has been any sort of report that I've missed. I've got to... I'm trying to keep up with it all. But yeah, if you look at that camera in Natchitoches, we do have a tornado warning, and you can see that. We actually have the hazard alerts that are on that. It shows us on radar even. We can see what we're looking at there. So lots of tools with that. Tornado warning with the confirmed tornado continues out of our area. Let's take a look at that one. That one looks a little bit better, but I am on the wrong radar. This one up here, west of Stonewall, that right there is a strong, strong tornado. I mean, 81 miles an hour one way, and, you know, you're getting, whoops, let me get that off there. And you can just see the flow, the airflow around that thing. So you get 63 miles an hour coming in that way, and then 64, like I said, 81 going the other way. So really, really intense rotation with that one. And that is being realized in the form of a strong tornado that's showing up right there on radar, right there on the debris tracker. And then this one near Mansfield, that has been through Grove Hill. You can see that area just east of Mansfield toward Neighborton, still seeing that, that tornado on the ground. Now I'm checking back here. I'm going to pull warnings back up to make sure we don't have a flashing purple one here locally. And so far we don't see that, but we do see rotation in these storms. Right now, the strongest area of rotation right over Montgomery. That's going to be heading up toward Cooley, Wheeling, Calvin, Galdana. You're kind of next in line for that one. Oops. So you have to watch until 10, and that warning, that lasts until 2:45. So if you are up here, oh goodness, what lake is that? I should know that. It's not IAT. IAT's down here. Well, if you're up on the lake, south of Galdana, between there and Clarence, that's where this is going to be heading eventually. And so we have one area of rotation right there coming out of Montgomery, out of northwestern Grand into southern Wynn Parish, and then this area down here in southern Natchitoches Parish. It's going to move right across Natchitoches. Doesn't look quite as strong as it did a few minutes ago. Let me look and see. So it'd be great to see these start to underperform, because everything that's shown up so far has absolutely just kind of went for it. And there's your one tornado that's confirmed. This one was looking a little weaker, but still with our rotation coming out of Grant into Wynn, and then this here over southern Natchitoches Parish. All right. Gonna go out and look and see if we have any surprises coming. Let me see if I have any reports that have come in. Yeah, that circulation west of Stonewall, that's the big one right now. All right, so to recap, we have 2 tornado warnings in the area right now. That is the one here in northwestern Grant that's moving up into western Wynn Parish, and then this cell that's near Provençal, it's south of Provençal, moving up toward Natchitoches and I-49. The confirmed tornado warning that's clipping western Natchitoches Parish has moved on. That's now up into DeSoto. But we still do have that potential confirmed tornado that is near... it's north of Grove Hill, moving toward Carmel. And then this one up here, that is definitely on the ground. That's moving up toward Bethany, Louisiana, so southwest of Greenwood. That's going to eventually probably cross Highway 20 if it holds together. Not seeing any debris signatures with these, so that is some small level of comfort right now as new storms are forming. Got a new tornado warning. This one's for DeSoto and Red River Parish. So until 2:30, so only a 15-minute warning. This is not confirmed anymore, so that's some good news. That new warning up there for Mansfield, that is a non-confirmed one, which today it just seems like everything's going confirmed so quickly. So here's your one band of storms. It's going to be starting to kind of edge closer to Alexandria, and then we have more back here. And then this development here, as I said earlier, I kind of drew this out. You've got, one band coming like this. You get these bands that kind of converge. And that convergence being visible, that's what kind of creates these thunderstorms. When you see that convergence, it's real easy to think, once you get that air to rise, it hits the instability, it pulls into that, and then you see those things just go off. And we're seeing tons of that today as instability grows, as temperatures are pushing 90 out here. So it's possible we see a similar setup to what we're seeing out this way as these storms continue to develop. And that's why I'm sticking with you on this. I mean, we have tornado warnings. I'm going to stick with you anyway. Let's look at the Shreveport radar. Yeah, that looks a little stronger there south of Natchitoches now. And that's typically going to be inflow, just pulling bugs and birds and stuff in, so we're not overly concerned with that. Rain falling in Natchitoches on the camera at the airport. But that is what we're watching. So as that gets closer, we might get a view of something, and I'm going to certainly be watching this one as I have been. And this confirmed tornado that came through Pleasant Hill, that is further on to the north now. They're continuing the tornado warning for Natchitoches Parish. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 8 miles southwest of Natchitoches, moving north at 45. So that's going to be there in 10-15 minutes here. It looks like it's moving at that pace. We're going to be there fairly shortly. Get a view of this thing. It'll be near Natchitoches at 2:20. I think it'll be a little later than that since we're at 2:19 right now. But you need to take your precautions as this is heading that way. I'm looking out there, seeing the rain falling over the stadium right now. Gonna go back to that south. Let's go to the southwest view. I'm just lining that up so I don't show you just rain. We don't care about that. That is the area of rotation. Let's go in and show you where it's going to be crossing 49. We have the Flora Cypress exit right there. It should be north of there where this crosses. It looks like it's going to be crossing up closer to the Highway 6 exit. That's your main Natchitoches exit that takes you into town. I'll put this in motion. Actually, I'm going to step this back and then show you so I can move it at my own pace. It's moving almost due north, maybe a little west of north, but that is going to cross, it looks like, right at where 6 and 49 come together. So Hazelwood, Natchitoches, especially west toward the interstate, that is where we're going to be seeing the strongest rotation cross. We're still not seeing any sort of debris with this thing, but that storm does have that look, and starting to see some purple show up there on the one moving into wind parish right now. So as these storms deepen, they really tap into that wind shear, and that's when we see things start to pop off. So there's rotation most certainly with both of those. This tornado continues, and I really worry about people that are on I-20 especially. They don't see this one coming. Up toward Wascom, probably going to cross the Texas border, and then in those like between like mile markers 620 and 636, that's where this is going to cross, somewhere up here. So if you know somebody who's traveling out of Shreveport or Alexandria toward Dallas, you're going to want to tell them, hey, that thing's actually on the ground, and you want to probably be very safe with that one and try to avoid it as best you can. I think I just heard a rumble of thunder at the house. Yeah, could be. Oh, it's windy. I should know that, shouldn't I? All right, so multiple tornado warnings going on with new storms developing. And if you just look at these kind of in their infancy here, you can see we already have weak rotation with these storms. But the main ones we are watching right now are this one that is now over southern Natchitoches Parish, actually more like southwest or central Natchitoches Parish, and then another one moving up over southwestern Wynn Parish. This confirmed tornado has turned into a non-confirmed warning. Not seeing that thing on the ground still, and not seeing any signature that these are on the ground at this point. With that wind shear, I don't like that product, actually. We're not going to even look at that. It's right here. I don't know why it was showing it on 49. So these are your two areas we're watching locally. If I'm off these tornadoes up to the northwest, it's simply because we have things going on here now, and that's out of our area. So if you're in the Shreveport area, you want to tune into your local media. South. I'm still here. I just take a break on the voice every second or two. I'm making sure nothing's been confirmed. My goodness, another funnel cloud in Jasper, Texas. They've just been getting pummeled. Oh, all right, hold on a second now. I think we are going to go ahead and take a look at the Natchitoches camera here in just a second. I am just making the smallest of adjustments here. Yeah, there's a pretty visible lowering on this. Let's go ahead and do that. So it may take a second to get there. Yeah, you got it. See, I'm going to take myself off. That is the lowering coming into Natchitoches from the south to the north. Sorry. So we're going to be watching this now because and I've got radar up and everything. Should we see anything else or something confirmed here? But that is the lowering. That's the rotation that's coming into Natchitoches, or just west of Natchitoches, I should say. But you definitely want to seek shelter if you're in Natchitoches with this storm approaching. And yes, we have those light standards there, but we'll be able to get the general idea of what's going on. Tornado radar indicated. That's the Cato. Okay, that's another one. But yeah, you can see how low to the ground this is. Okay, so that right there is the lowering that is over Natchitoches right now, or coming into Natchitoches. I'm looking at radar. This is going to be our best way to show this, of course, and I'm going to see if I see anything confirmed on radar. I'll briefly show you that, but we really do have some rotation with that storm, and this is just trying not to miss anything. You can just see that thing's almost scraping the ground right there. And I'm checking all the products here. Just wanted to leave this up for a minute as we have a wall cloud that looks like it is approaching Natchitoches from the south. And this is probably going to stay just west of town. I don't see anything confirmed with this right now. Let me see what we have. Okay. I keep getting these alerts for tornadoes that are observed, and these are not in our area right now. So there is most certainly, though, strong rotation with that storm that is moving up toward Natchitoches right now, and we're going to have this view to watch this as it happens. So let me pull over to see. Yeah, okay, looks good on Facebook. So let me pop over really quickly to radar, and I've still got. I'm going to have this up so I can watch this on my end. But that is your rotation right there. Looking at the Lake Charles radar, you can see it's not quite as pronounced, but pretty pronounced here on Shreveport. And our camera is looking out from Natchitoches toward the southwest. This is right over Provençal. I do not see a confirmed tornado with this right now, not seeing the CC drop or anything like that, but a very good look at a lowering on this storm with a tornado warning over Natchitoches. Now, where is it headed down the line? You can see again, this storm does not look like much, but judging by what we're seeing there, it most certainly does. So this is going to go west of Natchitoches in all likelihood. I'll put it in motion. Then it's going to head up just west of Campty, and it's probably better to track this with the storm relative velocity. And I'm going to go back to this camera in just a second. But Provençal, then up toward Allen, crossing 49, near that Highway 6 exit, probably just west of Campty, though you'll want to seek shelter, and Natchitoches, you'll want to be in a safe place as well. But I'm going to go back over to this now, and we're going to take a look at the camera, because it's still looking pretty ugly there. There we go. So there is your camera. They just updated, and you'll see that update pop over here in just a second. Definitely a wall cloud on this that is very close to the ground. This is looking from Turpin Stadium toward the southwest. That's the Natchitoches Airport right there, and that is close to doing something. That is the rotation I'm watching closely on radar. And I'm going to to do one thing with this camera behind the scenes, so just a second, you can just keep watching. And I may adjust this over in just a second here. All right. So you can see that inflow feeding into this right there. There's your lowering that we're watching. I'm going to actually kick this over just a touch. And yes, I know we got those light standards we're going to have to deal with, but if something happens, it'll pop out pretty quickly. And there is the whole storm, the whole kind of lowering that we're watching. Very low, just scraping the ground, just a few hundred feet off the ground here. I don't see like intense rapid rotation, but I'm just, this is that storm that we've been watching. Let me see. And then we have that other one up in Western Wind Parish. Okay, that's the tornado warning for, let's see. It's still radar indicated, not radar confirmed, and we're not seeing it confirmed here. So watching it closely. That is the view from Turpin Stadium. You can see the lights up on top of the stadium, and we are looking toward the southwest, as this should come pretty close to the camera site, and we're just going to keep it on this for now. I'm going to pop over to radar real quick. We'll come back. I've got this feed up here, so if I see anything drop out of that, we will take a look. Perhaps a little weaker in the last scan on this as it heads up toward 49. Looks like it's peeling just a little bit toward the left. And then we have this other tornado warning continuing for Western Wind Parish. Grant, you are out of that warning now. Let's make sure we don't have any new warnings. No, we do not. So basically the main show right now is that storm that's over Natchitoches Parish. This one here that's moved just through Provençal right now, and you can see there that that we do have pretty significant rotation with this. I do not see this being on the ground right now. I'm going to pause and take a look at storm relative here. Yeah, that little thing near Cooley, I don't think that's on the ground either. But there is your, that's base. Let's go to storm relative. Yeah, you got the reds and the greens coming together. Very clear rotation about up to Highway 49 right now. And that's going to cross just west of Natchitoches. So if you're in that area, you want to seek shelter, as this could move pretty quickly. And we could see this touch down fairly quickly. And I'm watching it on the camera now. Not the tornado, but I'm watching the that lowering. I'm going to pull that up for you. Yeah, there's your updated view of this. Still definitely pulling in some good inflow, but I'm not seeing anything really clearing out, trying to touch down at this moment, but just watching it as closely as I possibly can. I'm going to look at something here behind the scenes for a second, download it, and I will perhaps show you that in just a second as well. But that is the view of the storm approaching the western side of Natchitoches right now. Yeah, and I'll show you what I was looking at here. This is from a few minutes ago on that Natchitoches storm. Let me just pull up the display capture. This is a few minutes ago, and this, when you speed it up, you get a better view of that rotation that is happening with this storm right there. And that's a really good view of the upward motion going into that, and then you see that inflow shooting in there as well. So I'll show you that one more time, then we'll go back to the live view. But that right there is a low scraping wall cloud. We've got the attempts at something happening right there, but it never made it to the ground. So great news there for once. One of these did not make it to the ground. Now here's your current view. Let me move this camera over. All right, and we are on the Natchitoches camera. Yes. Gonna move that over and just keep an eye on things as this is really getting close to the site now. Went a little too far. There we go. So that is the storm that is right over top or just west of Natchitoches right now. You can see really solid lowering with this. Not seeing a tornado, but this is where that tornado warning is right now. Oh, we had a big limb fall at our house. But that right there, I mean, when you see that, when I see that, I'm thinking there's going to be some massive thing on radar. Look at this. I mean, yeah, we've got the rotation showing up, but when you look at this storm, there's hardly any lightning. Oh, actually, it has pulsed up somewhat, but that there's actually now 2 tornado warnings. That's the new one that includes Natchitoches. So we have these cells that are both potentially producing tornadoes. They could quickly produce tornadoes. Let me pull that off, show you the storm relative, and there you go. This one's a little stronger looking here. I'm going to go and take a look at Lake Charles since we're kind of in the radar void there. But yeah, the confirmed tornadoes are all to our north right now. But this Natchitoches cell, we've got to go back over and look at that. The camera's just telling more of the story right now. Hold on one second. Just sending a link to the camera to the National Weather Service so they can monitor this as well. Okay. I promise I'm still here, folks. Just want to get this information out to as many people as possible. All right, and I'm going to nudge this over just a little bit so we can see the whole thing. I can see a bigger view of this from what I'm seeing, but look at that nasty cell right there. This thing looks like it's trying to wrap up. And you can see that rapid motion, too, from left to right. And this is from Turpin Stadium. We are now looking a little bit more toward the west. And I'm just going to keep up with this and keep pace with it as it continues on. But seeing those striations there, we've got rotation with this storm for sure. And we are seeing this. This is the storm in Natchitoches Parish that is very close to producing a tornado. Is not as of this point. But that rotation is right over I-49 right now. And it looks like we're getting close on this. Let me go. Because it's so close now, I do have to move the camera a bit more. As we have a pretty well-defined wall cloud with this storm moving across the interstate. There in Natchitoches. Looks like it's getting very low to the ground here. This is the storm in Natchitoches. The storm in Grant still has a tornado warning, but the rotation looks much more significant right here with this storm in Natchitoches Parish as this continues to cross over Interstate 49. Not seeing any power flashes, but we are definitely seeing that rotation with this cell as it moves toward the north. Toward the north, just west of Natchitoches, and it could possibly be wrapping up right now. I'm going to move it over just a hair. You can see how that wall cloud's kind of solidifying. That's Sibley Lake right there. So now we're looking more kind of toward the northwest as this storm continues to rotate rapidly. And it looks like we're watching a developing tornado right here. And this is going to be over near Sibley Lake. Let me get you some locations here. Yeah, this is going to be near Sibley Lake. That you're seeing the rain kind of get in ahead of this, but it looks like that thing is quite possibly on the ground here. So I don't want to call it a confirmed tornado just yet, but it looks like it's there. This is west of Natchitoches. This is near Interstate 49. We have what looks to be a confirmed tornado on the ground. And I am looking to see if we're seeing any sort of correlation coefficient drop here. But that is Sibley Lake in Natchitoches Parish. We're looking northwest of Natchitoches right now as this at least very low wall cloud continues on across the area. And that rain is falling at the camera site, which obscures us just a little bit, but we should have a pretty good view of this as it continues on. But that right there is what looks like a confirmed tornado. This is Sibley Lake right here in the foreground, and that behind it is a very low-hanging wall cloud or perhaps a tornado that's moving across. It really looked rough there for a little bit, and still with that lowering, I think I see that we have some space between there and the ground, but that typically, sometimes you don't condense them all the way to the ground. And the good thing I'm seeing or not seeing is that I'm not seeing power flashes at this point. So that's very good news. But this tornado, or this potential tornado, continues northwest of Natchitoches. And I'm going to quickly, because we have this kind of obscured right now, I am going to jump over to radar. I promise you I'm still here. Real quick look at radar, see what we have there. That's what we're looking at. That is likely a tornado on the ground. I don't see a CC drop. Storm relative is very much there. This is northwest of Natchitoches. We have another cell coming in from the south, but we've got to go back to that camera just to keep up with that because I wanted to show you where this was, where we were looking. It's tougher to see right now, but you can still see that lowering, that little bowl right there. The best news I can say is that we have not seen any sort of power flashes with this, but this looked really evident for a while that it was a tornado on the ground. I am going to actually, just give me 1 second here. We're looking northwest from Turpin Stadium towards Sibley Lake, if you are wondering, if you just joined us. This is a probable tornado on the ground. Cannot confirm absolutely because I haven't seen damage happening. I have not seen power flashes. It's possible I've missed them because I'm looking at 100 different things. But looks like it's kind of faded into the rain right now. Let me move this over a little bit. We'll definitely lose visual on it soon enough. Like I said, we can't ever have a full 360 of these things. Okay, so since we're in the rain on this now, I'm just going to leave it like that. And if I see something pop up, we'll go back to it. Just refreshing that. Going back to radar because that's going to be our best avenue to see things. That's the thing. If we have a camera on it, great, we can see it. Okay, that's fine. But if we can't, then we come back over to this. But I have the camera up right here. I am watching it very closely, and I will show you whatever I see as soon as I see it. So storms are popping down to the southwest. Let's go over to the Lake Charles radar and see how those are looking. So we have this cell right here. Let's go ahead and look at the velocity. That's really told the story a lot better. We have this one area of rotation, strong rotation west of Calvin. We have that other area near Natchitoches. Looks like it might be weakening out a little bit on the Lake Charles radar, but you can see here both of these areas look better as you get closer, and that's not a surprise at all because when you're closer to the radar with these lower tilts here, we're going to see that a lot better. But let me see something. I'm going to go back over to reflectivity. It looks like that tornado warning was allowed to expire, but I'm thinking they're coming with a new one here for northwestern Wind Parish and probably northeastern Natchitoches Parish as well. Tornado watch continues until 10. I think you know this one, it means business. I'm basically pulling that time lapse up to see if we actually saw that thing on the ground. But it sure looked that way to me. All right. So tornado warning continues. The only one active right now for our area here is the Natchitoches Parish tornado warning for the storm that we've been watching for the last 15-20 minutes. I think this one is probably going to get reissued because you can see on the storm relative velocity that we have two areas of rotation there. In looking at my camera out there, I'm not seeing anything right now, but again, if you ever want to just, not listen to me and you just want to follow the cameras, you can always go ahead and take a look at what's going on those on SendLawWeather.com or the SendLaw Weather app. And if you ever, or like yesterday when we had that tornado warning, I had a lot of people saying, wait, I didn't get the warning. And the reason you didn't get that warning is because the tornado warning was not for you. So you may be in the parish with the warning, but if it's not a warning for you, you're not going to see it. Let me see real quick here. All right. I am pulling up that lapse just to see what we had going through on that. So we still have that one tornado warning continuing for that Natchitoches Parish cell. And yeah, I believe that was a tornado on the ground. Let me show you what I had. I'll pull up the display capture and show you this. This was about 10 minutes ago, probably northwest of Natchitoches, but watch this as we time lapse it. You can see the speed of this thing. When you increase that, you can see the inflow. You can see the air going the other way on the other side of that. And then as it crosses the lake there, that's where it really looks like we had that rotation that was either on the ground or very close to it. Now, I did not see power flashes, have not heard damage reports yet, but I wanted to show you what we were looking at there as that storm continues. Where am I at? Now, let's take this out. Okay, so this storm, yeah, they reissued that tornado warning. So we still have the tornado warning. That rotation's crossing 49 here, southeast of Allen. That is going to be moving up toward Powhatan and just southwest of Campty. Put it in motion, and you can see it really did intensify there briefly. Let me see if we ever did see a CC drop. We really didn't. So if that thing were down, it might have been down briefly, even though it looked pretty nasty. Not seeing any sort of a drop on that storm near Galdana, and that's going to head north out of the area. Have a couple other little kidney beans popping down here. So these are the ones we'll be watching next. And let's go to the Lake Charles radar, as they seem to be looking a little bit better on those. Storm relative, there we go. All right, it's looking a little better right now. So we're not seeing quite as strong of rotation, even when we get into the Shreveport radar. Still seeing rotation, still very concerning, and these could spin up very quickly. You typically expect brief spin ups in these tropical scenarios. We've seen some storms that have really dropped some nasty looking tornadoes here on radar up in northwest Louisiana. It looks like we have one. Because we don't have anything confirmed here right now, let me take you up on the I-20 tour. And that right there is a monster on the east side of Shreveport. Let's go into velocity. Yeah, that's on the ground for sure. This is going to be moving up toward Houghton on 20 there. It's going to be moving likely just west of Houghton. If you're up in that area, you have people up there, get them warned. Houghton, Adner, Bodcow, never heard of it. Ferguson, that area east of Shreveport, you are going to be in the path of this. Sligo, Oakland as well. Looks like this is going to come right overhead. Then we have another confirmed tornado that looks like it has most likely dissipated. That was the one we'd been tracking forever, it seems like. And then another one that moved up toward Longview and probably skirted the northeast side of Longview. And down here, nothing confirmed right now that we're seeing. But we still do have 2 tornado warnings for these cells that are moving up now into northeastern Natchitoches Parish. Extreme western wind, but I think most of wind is in the clear. And then these cells that we had been watching for so long over Natchitoches Parish as well. Let me just take a look on this. Shouldn't be seeing anything on that one right now, but we do have another storm coming over the Natchitoches camera, so I'm going to just reposition that, which will just take me 1 second. We're going to look, probably not going to see much anyway. So yeah, 2 tornado warnings continuing, both including Natchitoches Parish, basically. That's the 2 cells we have right here. And I'm just flipping it around to see this other one. Wait a second, what was that? Yeah. Okay. Not seeing anything, at least in what I am looking at right now with those. Tornado watch continues until 10 o'clock. These cells continue to be something to watch. We obviously have this as well. Let's go ahead and look at the high resolution model that we check in to see on this stuff, and we're gonna. This is what I saw on the Natchitoches camera, which it has not updated. There we go. Nothing. I mean, that's more linear. That's more flat based. We're not seeing anything that we're really overly concerned with right there. But what I wanted to come over here and show you was the updated future cast that we haven't looked at in a little while. So what's going to happen the rest of the afternoon? Here's what it looks like. We have storms that are going to continue, and again, they have been a little further east than this, but by about 6 or 7 o'clock, not only does it show them intensifying, but it shows this whole band of storms shifting right over Rapides, Wynn, Grant, areas that might not have seen as much as what we've seen out west, and then perhaps weakening a bit as they head toward the river, but still holding their own, it looks like. Let's see, go back to the start and show you again, slowly stepping through. I think we will probably get this a little earlier, so 5 or 6 o'clock, and that's why this tornado watch goes until 10 o'clock. I mean, it's rare to see a tornado watch last for like 12 hours, but that's what we have in this case, and it seems like it's one of those rare days where we are seeing some pretty wild stuff out there. But yeah, tornado warning continues for Natchitoches Parish, actually 2 tornado warnings. Got a new mesoscale discussion, which is basically a severe weather discussion. And they're saying an area of potentially tornadic supercells probably will be maintained while spreading north-northeastward in advance of the remnants of Beryl through 4 to 6 p.m. An additional tornado watch may be needed across parts of Arkansas. Yeah, pressure falls over the Arklatex. That's basically the trap. Means that's where this is going to be tracking, where the center of Beryl will be tracking. Big time moisture, big time low level wind shear. Yeah, there have been a number of confirmed and potentially tornadic supercells largely focused within the more strongly convergent right front quadrant, which is where we are. And they have issued another tornado warning, but that's for Texas. So looking over at velocity once again, I will pause. Still looks like some rotation in there. This is via the Shreveport radar. But we're not seeing it as strong as it was earlier when it looked like we possibly did have a tornado on the camera. Now, this is, I'm looking right into this, so I will take you back over to the Natchitoches camera briefly. I think I will. Yeah. I have 3 versions of it up, so I got to make sure I'm clicking the right button. But that is going to update here in a second. That looks a little spooky, but that's not something that's imminently on the ground or anything like that. But you can see here, looking at this that we don't have what we had earlier, which was a really low-hanging, most likely a tornado or very close to a tornado on the ground northwest of Sibley Lake. This is that storm. This is the second storm that moved through, and this one does not look as significant on radar, but it does have a nice crazy-looking sky to it. But we can handle crazy-looking skies. We just don't want those tornadoes falling out of them. But that cell is now just northwest of Natchitoches. There is some rotation with that, but the stronger rotation is up with the one west of Campty now and moving out of our area, and then that one in Galdana as well. Let's see. We have a new warning that's for Bossier, Caddo, and DeSoto. Go over to radar for a second. Take a look at that. Yeah, we still have those 3 confirmed tornadoes on the ground, northeast Texas and northwest Louisiana, and these looking a little tamer in our area. Down south, getting new storms to pop here. That's when I go to Lake Charles to see those. Yeah, you can see there's not much difference in the size of these storms than there is with those up in Natchitoches Parish. So they don't have to look like much to really be producing for today. And I will go back to the camera because it's really kind of interesting right now. It's, again, a little inflow coming in, not seeing any sort of imminent tornado threat. And again, that'll update in a second. It takes a second for it to translate from there to the system. But once we get there, you'll see kind of that little spaceship landing kind of look right there that we just wouldn't see from the ground. It's impossible to see that stuff with all the trees and everything. So that is the cell that has some weak rotation but is not imminently dangerous for parts of Natchitoches Parish right now. From what I'm seeing, the worst of that storm continues on toward the north, toward Campty, and here you can see that on radar. That's the one we were looking at right there. Now, well, that's still 3 confirmed tornadoes up at Shreveport. Up on and when I say Shreveport, I'm talking about their National Weather Service office. This one kind of continued to the north, and that's the one that's heading up toward Jefferson right now. And you can see that storm. It definitely has an interesting shape here with that curl back to the southwest. But rotation on that is pretty weak on these as well, as these continue out of to the north of the area. So what I'm going to do, because I don't see anything imminent right now, I'm going to break away for a little bit. I'm going to catch my breath. I'm going to not talk, and I'm going to come back on probably in about 10 minutes or so. But just taking a little bit of a break here, but I will be back, and I wouldn't be doing this if we had significant imminent tornadoes in the area, but it looks like this potential is moving out, and this one's about 5 minutes from moving out as well.